Your baby is evaluating you right now, not tomorrow, not when they're older, right now, today. Your baby is running a silent test, and every single interaction you have with them is either building a case that you are safe or quietly adding doubt. Most parents never hear this. Most parents assume that love is enough, that being there is enough, that feeding, holding, and caring automatically creates a bond. But here's what the science actually says. Bonding is not automatic. It is not guaranteed. And your baby, as small and helpless as they look, is the one who decides whether it happens or not. Here is the thing nobody tells you at the hospital. Your baby came into this world with one mission above everything else: not to grow, not to learn, not to hit developmental milestones. Their number one biological mission is to find a safe person, one person, or maybe two, who their nervous system can lock onto and say, "This one, this is my anchor. When the world feels too big, this is where I go." Psychologists call this person the attachment figure. And becoming that person for your baby is not something that just happens because you gave birth to them or because you love them deeply. It is something your baby decides, based on evidence, based on consistency, based on hundreds of small moments that their brain is tracking and filing away long before they can speak a single word. And when that decision has not been made yet, when your baby's nervous system is still searching, still unsure, still waiting, they show it, quietly, in ways that are very easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. These are the 7 signs, 7 specific behaviors that researchers and child psychologists have identified as signals that a baby has not yet found their safe person. Some of these will feel uncomfortable to read. Some will surprise you. One of them, sign 4, is so counterintuitive that most parents actually see it as a good thing when it is one of the most important signals on this entire list. Go through all 7 before you draw any conclusions. And remember, this is not a test you can fail. This is information. And information is always better than the dark. In the 1950s and 60s, a British psychologist named John Bowlby spent years studying something that everyone around him thought was too simple to study. He wanted to know what babies actually need, beyond food, warmth, and basic care. What he found became one of the most important discoveries in the history of child psychology. He found that babies are biologically programmed to attach, that the need for a safe, consistent, responsive caregiver is not an emotional preference. It is a survival need, as fundamental as food, as non-negotiable as water. He called this attachment theory. And decades of research since then have confirmed and built on everything he found. What the research tells us is this: a baby who finds their safe person, who develops what psychologists call a secure attachment, grows up with a stronger ability to handle stress, build relationships, regulate their emotions, and trust the world around them. A baby who does not find that safe person in their early months develops what is called an insecure attachment, and the effects of that follow them far beyond childhood. This is why these 7 signs matter, not to scare you, but because the earlier you see them, the more time you have to change what they mean. Sign 1. They don't track your face. Every baby is born with a very specific visual preference already wired in. They prefer faces over everything else. And within the first few weeks of life, a securely bonding baby begins to show a very clear preference for one face above all others: yours. They track it when you move. They settle their gaze on it when you're near. They light up, even with just a tiny change in their expression, when your face comes into their line of sight. When this is not happening, when your baby looks through you the same way they look at the ceiling, When your face doesn't seem to register as different or special, that is a signal worth paying attention to. It doesn't mean something is permanently wrong. In the early weeks especially, babies are still developing their vision and their social responses. But by 6 to 8 weeks, your face should be starting to mean something specific to them. If it doesn't yet, that's the first sign. Sign 2. They treat you the same as strangers. This one stings, but it needs to be said clearly. A baby who has decided that you are their safe person behaves differently with you than with anyone else. Not a little differently, noticeably differently. They may be calm with other people, perfectly happy to be held by grandparents or visitors, but there is a quality to how they are with you that is distinct, a settling, a softening, a recognition that says, you are not the same as everyone else. When that distinction is not there, when your baby is equally comfortable, equally calm, equally unresponsive with you as they are with someone they've never met before, their nervous system is telling you something. It hasn't made up its mind yet. It hasn't filed you under safe and known. You are still, in some quiet biological sense, being evaluated alongside everyone else. This is one of the most uncomfortable signs on this list, because most parents interpret their baby being good with everyone as a positive thing, and sometimes it is. But when there is no visible difference in how they are specifically with you, that is worth noting. Sign 3, they don't calm faster in your arms. One of the clearest and most measurable signs of secure attachment is something researchers call differential soothing. It simply means this: when a baby is upset, really upset, not just mildly fussy, they calm down faster in the arms of their attachment figure than in anyone else's arms. Not because that person holds them differently, not because of any special technique, but because their nervous system recognizes that person as safe, and that recognition alone triggers a biological calming response. Cortisol drops, heart rate stabilizes, breathing slows. When this is not happening, when your baby takes just as long to calm in your arms as they do in anyone else's, or when they don't seem to calm any better with you at all, that pattern is telling you that the nervous system hasn't made that association yet. You haven't yet been filed in their brain as the person who means safe. And that filing is exactly what these early months are for. Sign 4. They don't protest when you leave. This is the one that surprises people the most. Most parents feel relieved when their baby doesn't cry as they leave the room. They think, great, my baby is independent. My baby is secure. My baby is fine. But here is what the research actually shows. A healthy, securely attached baby should protest, at least a little, when their attachment figure leaves. This protest is called separation anxiety, and it is not a problem. It is proof. It is your baby's nervous system saying out loud, you matter to me. Your absence registers. Come back. Separation anxiety typically begins to develop somewhere between 6 and 10 months, and while every baby expresses it differently, a complete absence of any protest when you leave, especially by the time they are closer to 1 year old, is a signal that the attachment bond may not be as established as it needs to be. Your baby should miss you. Not in a distressing, inconsolable way, but in a real, noticeable way that shows your presence and absence means something different to them. If it doesn't, if you walk out of the room and nothing changes, that is sign 4. Sign 5. Their body stiffens when you hold them. The body never lies. When you pick up a baby who feels safe with you, something happens physically. They mold into you. Their muscles soften. Their weight settles. They fit against you like they belong there. Because in their nervous system, they believe they do. When a baby has not yet established that feeling of safety with you, the body shows it differently. There is a stiffness, a resistance, a subtle pulling away or arching of the back that says, I am not sure about this. I am not sure about you. This is not always dramatic. It is not always obvious. But if you pay attention, you can feel it. The difference between a baby who melts into you and a baby who tolerates being held is a real and physical thing. There are other reasons a baby might stiffen. Some sensory, some physical. And if you notice this consistently, it is always worth mentioning to your pediatrician. But when it happens specifically with you, more than with others, it is worth understanding what it might mean. Their body is speaking. The question is whether you are listening. Sign 6. They avoid eye contact with you. Specifically, eye contact between a mother and baby is one of the most powerful bonding mechanisms in human biology. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, in both the parent and the baby simultaneously. It synchronizes their nervous systems. It is one of the primary ways a baby learns to recognize and trust a specific face. When a baby consistently avoids eye contact with you, turns their head away, looks past you, breaks the gaze quickly and repeatedly, it can be a sign that their nervous system is overwhelmed or uncertain in your presence. Again, there are developmental reasons why some babies struggle with eye contact, and those are worth exploring separately. But when a baby makes easy eye contact with other people, and specifically avoids it with you, that pattern is meaningful. Eye contact is how babies say, I see you, and I trust what I see. Avoiding it is how they say they are not quite there yet. Sign 7. They are consistently harder to feed and soothe than expected. Feeding is not just nutrition for a baby, it is one of the primary contexts in which attachment is built. The closeness, the eye contact, the warmth, the responsiveness. Feeding is where a baby learns over and over again, when I need something, this person comes. When I am uncomfortable, this person helps. I can count on this. When feeding is consistently difficult, when a baby is hard to latch, hard to settle into feeding, easily distracted, or resistant in a way that doesn't have a clear physical cause, it can sometimes reflect a nervous system that hasn't fully relaxed into the relationship yet. The same goes for soothing. A baby who is genuinely difficult to soothe, beyond the normal range of fussiness, may be showing you that their stress response doesn't yet have a reliable off switch connected to your presence. This is the quietest sign on this list, and the easiest to explain away. But combined with the others, it forms part of the same picture. If you recognized your baby in any of those signs, please hear this next part clearly. This is not your fault. Attachment is not built in a single moment. It is not delivered at birth. It is not guaranteed by love alone. But it is also not destroyed by a difficult start. There are 100 reasons why bonding can be slow to develop. A traumatic birth, postpartum depression, a baby who spent time in the NICU, a parent who is overwhelmed, exhausted, or simply never taught what responsive caregiving actually looks like. A baby with a sensitive nervous system who needs more time and more repetition before their brain feels safe. None of these things make you a bad parent. All of them are real, all of them are understandable, and none of them are permanent. The fact that you are watching this, the fact that you want to understand what your baby is communicating, that already says something important about who you are as a parent. Now here is where people disagree, sometimes loudly. Can attachment be repaired after a difficult start? Can a baby who shows these signs develop a secure bond later? Or is the early window so critical that missing it causes damage that can't be undone? One school of thought says the first year, especially the first 6 months, is so neurologically sensitive that what happens there sets a pattern that is very hard to rewrite later. The other school says the brain is far more flexible than we give it credit for. That responsive, consistent caregiving at any point, even in toddlerhood, can reshape the attachment pattern and build real security. The honest answer sits somewhere in the middle. Early months matter enormously, but they are not the only thing that matters. The brain is not a locked door after 12 months. It is more like a door that gets heavier to push open the longer it sits. The earlier you start, the easier the work is. There is a term in psychology for what you are trying to build. It is called earned secure attachment, and it means exactly what it sounds like. Security that was not automatically present from the beginning, but was built slowly through consistent and responsive caregiving over time. Research shows that children who develop earned secure attachment, even after a rocky or disconnected start, show remarkably similar outcomes to children who had secure attachment from birth. The brain responds to safety. Whenever that safety consistently appears, it responds. You have not missed your window. You are standing in it right now. If this video is making you look at your baby differently, good. That shift in attention is exactly where change begins. We cover topics like this every week, the real science behind what your baby is telling you, and what you can actually do about it. Here are 3 specific things that rebuild the signal between you and your baby. First, follow their lead for 5 minutes every day. Put everything down. No phone, no distraction. Get on their level and simply follow whatever they do. If they look at something, look at it with them. If they make a sound, respond to it. If they reach for something, help them reach it. This kind of serve and return interaction is one of the most powerful attachment building tools that exists. 5 focused minutes done consistently is worth more than hours of distracted presence. Second, narrate your care. When you feed them, say what you're doing. When you pick them up, say why. When they cry and you come, say, I hear you. I'm here. Your voice, calm, consistent, and responsive, becomes one of the primary signals their nervous system learns to associate with safety. You are training their brain to connect your presence with relief. Every word is a data point. Third, repair after stress. Every parent has hard moments, moments of frustration, impatience, or disconnection. What matters more than those moments is what happens after them. Coming back, being calm, being warm, after a tense moment teaches your baby something profound. That relationships survive difficulty. That rupture is always followed by repair. That is actually one of the core lessons of secure attachment. You are not a parent who missed something. You are a parent who just learned to look closer. Most people go through their entire parenting journey never knowing that their baby is communicating this specifically, this quietly, this clearly. They miss the signs not because they don't care, but because nobody ever taught them the language. You now speak a little more of that language than you did 20 minutes ago, and that changes everything about what happens next. Your baby cannot tell you what they need in words. They cannot sit across from you and say, I need more of this. I need you to show up like this. I need you to be my safe place. But they are saying it every single day, in the way their body responds to yours, in whether their eyes find your face, in whether your arms mean something different than everyone else's arms. They are speaking the only language they have. And the most powerful thing you can do, more than any product, any technique, any advice, is simply learn to listen, because when your baby finally decides that you are their safe person, when their whole body relaxes into yours and their nervous system says, yes, this is home, that is not a small thing. That is the foundation everything else in their life gets built on. And you built it. Not perfectly. Not without struggle. But you showed up, you paid attention, and you refused to look away. That is what safe people do.